During the Vietnam War, U.S. planes dropped more than 20 million gallons of herbicides across Southeast Asia. Not bombs, not napalm, chemicals. Designed to strip the jungle bare, the most infamous of them all was Agent Orange, a weapon meant to kill trees and crops that ended up destroying people. It poisoned soldiers, it scarred families, and 50 years later, its shadow still lingers. In 1961, the U.S. military launched Operation Ranch Hand. The mission was simple: spray the forests so the Viet Cong couldn't hide, destroy the rice paddies so they couldn't eat. There were many herbicides: Agent White, Agent Blue, Agent Purple. But Agent Orange became the main weapon, almost 2/3 of all spraying. By 1971, more than 4.5 million acres of South Vietnam had been drenched. Planes, helicopters, trucks, even soldiers on the ground with hand sprayers. What made Agent Orange so deadly wasn't just the herbicide, it was a contaminant, dioxin, one of the most toxic chemicals known to science. Even in microscopic doses, dioxin causes cancer. It damages the immune system. It alters DNA. And once it enters the body, it stays for decades. The US government knew. The manufacturers, Dow and Monsanto, knew. But the spraying continued. Years later, Air Force scientist Dr. James Clary admitted, "We were aware of the potential for damage, but because it was to be used on the enemy, none of us were overly concerned. We never considered that our own personnel would become contaminated." The consequences were staggering. In Vietnam, millions of civilians developed cancers and nerve disorders. Generations of children were born with devastating birth defects. The Vietnamese government estimates 2 million people have suffered illnesses tied to Agent Orange, and 500,000 children were born with severe deformities. American veterans suffered too: Hodgkin's disease, prostate cancer, diabetes, neurological damage, children born with defects. But when they turned to the Veterans Administration for help, they were denied, told their illnesses were not service-related. In 1979, veterans took action. They filed a massive class action lawsuit against the chemical companies. 5 years later, Dow, Monsanto, and 5 others agreed to settle. They paid $180 million in compensation. After appeals, the figure rose to $240 million. But for many veterans and their families, it was too little, too late. Over time, the US government did recognize certain diseases as linked to Agent Orange. Benefits were expanded, but only after decades of lobbying. Agent Orange was meant to win a war. Instead, it created a legacy of pain. Today, the jungles are growing back, but for millions of families in Vietnam, and for thousands of veterans here at home, the damage will never be undone.